Hi, Chris. Hope you're doing well.
Okay.
So 1 week in the job. How are you feeling?
Yeah, okay. I'm feeling okay. We obviously Saturday wasn't the result that we wanted. I thought for the first 45 minutes we were competitive and looked probably more defensively secure, similar to the Tadcaster game the week before. Looked really defensively secure for the first half. To concede in the 47th minute was a bit of a kick in the teeth, really. And then second half was nowhere near where we should be. But then training this week has been really good. Training was really good this week. The Callum, my assistant, and I, and Alex, who's come in, have effectively that it's really important that people enjoy football. If you don't enjoy football, it becomes a chore. That's when you're in a bit of a dangerous territory, really. So we've got to try and keep spirits high, and we're going to go game by game. We're not going to look far ahead to the next game or what we can do in terms of what points we expect in March, what points we expect in April. It's game by game and focus on the here and now. So trained really well Tuesday. Tough game on Saturday, which we'll go into with the right mindset to hopefully try and get something. But we appreciate that's going to be a difficult task.
Yeah, and you touched on it there last weekend, conceding those two goals either side of half time. How do you think you're going to be able to go about addressing that to make sure maybe those concentration lapses maybe don't happen again?
Yeah, again, that's really tough from a manager's perspective, because that is not something that you can always affect. You can affect the shape of the team. You can affect how the team want to play or how you tell them to play. You can affect the structure. You can affect patterns of play, all them sort of things. But like you say, lapse in concentration, that is an individual's that is something an individual will affect at that time. And so if they do have a lapse and they get in, there's not a huge amount that you can do. Individual mistakes are difficult, and Sam has spoken about them sort of throughout the season. For us, it's about having the right mentality week by week, game by game, and just it looks to me when we concede a goal that we've got the weight of the world on our shoulders, and we can't have that. We absolutely cannot have that. We need to believe that when we concede, we can get a goal back, or be resolute and be, as cliche as it sounds, be as if it's 0-0 every time the game kicks off. It needs to be that way. But look, lapsing concentration can happen from conceding the goal straight before half time. I think it was the last action of the first half.
Yeah.
It was certainly the first action of the second half. I think we're probably the only team conceding minute 45 and minute 45 in different halves. So we just have to get past those little points, and we've got 7 games to do it. We'll talk about it as a group. We've spoken about the need to go week by week, as I said, as cliche as it sounds, but effectively that's where we're at, really.
Yeah, and I think obviously first in the league, they're going to be a tough test on Saturday. How do you think you're going to be able to, maybe not a game plan as such, but how are you going to go and try and get a win if you can?
Yeah, well, we have to. Like, if we go to Marske and think that we're going to get beat here, it's going to be this, it's going to be that, we might as well call them and say, "Here, I have the 3 points, and we'll save ourselves the travel, save everyone's time." I don't think the lads are that way. There's a realism. There is a realism, but they're gonna turn up and put in a shift, which I have no doubt that they will do. It's what we expect as an absolute minimum. We spoke about it last week after the game. Like I've said, we're going game by game. The next one's Marske, away from home, top of league. It doesn't get any tougher at the minute than that. But we'll play Marske, and then we focus on Ossett on the Tuesday night. So we'll go there with the right mentality and the right mental strength to hopefully try and get something at the football match. If we don't have that, it'll be a long afternoon.
Yeah. And on Saturday, if you could prioritise one thing you want to see above all else on the pitch, what do you reckon that thing would be?
It's something that I think the lads have, and they showed it in the first half last week. I thought we started really well, and whilst the score was level and we were in front, that concentration, that desire to keep the ball out of the net, and that desire to do the right thing at the right time and make the right decisions, and that concentration levels, the desire to work hard for your teammates, as generic as that is, that's what we need to have all the time, whether we're 1-0 down, 2-0 down, 3-1 down. We need to have that 3-0 up. We need to have that as an absolute bare minimum. So I expect the lads to turn up Saturday, put in a shift and work hard for each other, ultimately knowing that it's a very tough game and we just can't give up. We cannot give up, and if we go 1 goal down or whatever that is, we have to try and stay in the game. Marske are naturally a very good team. What have they lost once, maybe twice all season, sit top. So yeah, as a game right now, it's the hardest one we can have, but we have to go there with some form of belief that we can make things difficult for them.
Yeah, and you touched on it there. How crucial do you think it is if you do go 1-0 down, you see the right response from the boys?
It's the most important thing. A lack of response or wilting away from an opponent like that will result in a very, very, very long afternoon. And a scoreline that nobody wants to be on the end of. We need to ensure that we stand up to the test all over the pitch, and that's inclusive of me and staff in the dugout. We need to stand up to what is going to be a very difficult afternoon for us in terms of their quality. But this game always, for me, it comes down to mental strength and your mindset. Really, the lads that are playing are good technical footballers. They can play. They're at this level for a reason. It's about the mental strength on Saturday for me, and being able to dig in when it is tough.
Yeah, and obviously the side have had their fair share of injuries this season, a bit of an injury crisis. Is it looking a little bit better now?
Yeah, so we're getting a few people back. So Jack Arbon is with the development on Saturday, his first minutes for some time. We've got George Zerner out with a back injury. That's looking like a couple of weeks. And Callum Chapman and Simon Biggs, who both had long-term injuries, are sort of in and around it, but came back. And then, as with any sort of long-term injuries, you often see that player pick up maybe little niggles because they've been out for so long. So they're struggling with little niggles, but hopefully, again, won't be too long. But the squad is, we've got Fozzie back, which is great. Kerr Miller's come back in. Jake Park is sort of free from any niggles at the minute. We're managing Jenk. So yeah, we've had Max Baker's back. So we have had our fair share of injuries, and Sam had to deal with that for 2/3 of the season. We get into a position now where we are getting more players back, but we as a squad, who's ever in it, needs to just ensure that we have the right mindset to go and win a game of football, because as you were seeing on Saturday, when that second and third goal went in, it was drained from everyone. So we just need to make sure that isn't the case moving forward.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Chris, and best of luck for Saturday.
Cheers, Cameron. Thank you very much.